Forklifts are used at many production sites. If any of these forklifts should suddenly break down, the customer can face heavy repair costs. The production time lost due to forklift repairs can also be very expensive, particularly if the repairs stop the production line. Forklift malfunctions can be prevented if the customer regularly monitors the condition of the forklift. Periodic maintenance is very important to ensure continuous forklift operation, just as periodic health checks are important for us. As you know, there are two types of inspection by the customer. Daily inspection is a brief inspection done by the customer every day before starting the day's work. Weekly inspection is a more detailed inspection. The dealer can choose from several intervals for periodic inspection. Monthly, every 3 months, every 6 months, and annually. In this video, we will learn about the monthly inspection method that covers 54 check items. We will be using a forklift which has a diesel engine, pneumatic tires, and a torque converter. You must perform all safety precautions before starting the inspection. The first step is an external inspection. Stand in front of the forklift and check that the vehicle is not tilting to one side. Then check the entire structure for damage or dents in the body and the overhead guard, and for cracks and welds. Also check for signs of oil and water leakage. External inspection, check the mast assembly and forks for dents and cracks. Check the lift roller for uneven wear, and check the shape and fit of the chain wheels. Check the chain tension. If the tension does not seem tight enough, check for chain elongation using the chain wear scale. Check the backrest and fork carriage for damage and dents and proper installation. Check cylinders and tilt cylinders for signs of oil leakage and damage to the rods. Then check the piston rod end joints for excessive looseness. When you need to remove these pins from the tilt cylinders to inspect or replace them, you must first secure the mast assembly with ropes to prevent it from falling. Next, check that the lift and tilt levers operate smoothly and are not bent. Check the control valve unit for signs of oil leakage from the fastener and the valve. Now, check the steering control valve for signs of oil leakage, and check that the bolt on the pipe is tight. Also, check all hydraulic devices and their connecting pipes for any looseness, damage, and signs of oil leakage. Operate the levers and check that each cylinder functions properly. To check the relief valve, use an oil pressure gauge. The next item is to check the lifting speed with the forklift placed flat on the ground at the start. First, check the lifting speed without a load. Never go under the raised fork, as it can be very dangerous. Then check the speed under full load. If you are inspecting a 2.5-ton forklift, use a load of 2.5 tons to check the lifting speed. Next, check the amount of natural fall of the lift cylinders. To check natural fall, raise the fork about 1 to 1.5 meters above the ground, put the mast in the upright position, and stop the engine. Then mark the mast position, wait for 15 minutes, and measure the amount of natural fall. If the measured distance is greater than standard, it could be caused by excessive oil transfer within the lift cylinders, or excessive body-to-spool clearance of the control valves. The next item is testing the natural tilt of the tilt cylinders. To check the natural tilt, put the mast in the upright position, raise the fork 0.5 meters above the ground, and stop the engine. Let the mast tilt naturally for 15 minutes. And then measure the distance the tilt rod has extended. If the measured distance is greater than standard, it may be caused by excessive oil transfer within the tilt cylinders, or or excessive body-to-spool clearance of the control valves, as in the case of natural fall. This is the end of inspection of the body and load handling equipment. We will now check the chassis. First, check the tires for cuts, dented rims, etc. Then measure the tire air pressure. When you've completed it, don't forget to put the valve cap back. Check the wheel bearings next. Then turn the wheel and listen for any unusual sounds, and check the wheel assembly for excessive play. Also check that the brakes engage and disengage normally. Finally, check the nuts and bolts for proper tightness. The next check item is the engine compartment. Be very careful to avoid burns and other injuries. Clean the element of the air cleaner. Do not remove dust from the element by hitting it against a vehicle body or other hard objects. The next item is the cooling unit. First, check the level of coolant and look for signs of coolant leakage. Then check the radiator hose for cracks and looseness. And check the water pump for signs of water leakage. Also, check the cooling fan for scratches and other damage. Then check the fan belt for proper tension and scratches and other damage. Check that the alternator is mounted correctly. Then check the operation of the accelerator linkage. The fuel lines are the next item to check. Change the engine oil. It should be changed every month. The oil filter should be changed every 3 months. change the engine oil, make certain that you put the drain plug back, or something like this will happen. When you change the oil, check the oil level. To check the oil level, you must first start the engine, run it for a while, and turn it off. Wait for several minutes and then check the oil level. If necessary, add more oil. And make certain that you put the filler cap back correctly. We will check the starter pinion gear next. Now turn on the ignition key switch. And check the starter operation. At the same time, check the starter pinion gear cranking and engagement by listening to the gear sound. Check the engine idle speed next. Also, check the maximum engine speed. If necessary, adjust the maximum speed. After adjustment is completed, check the color of the exhaust gas and the operating sound of the engine. Next, you check the radiator cap. Decompress the radiator before you remove the radiator cap. Check the cap using the radiator cap tester. The next item is the torque converter transmission. First, check the transmission for signs of fluid leakage. Then check the fluid level while the engine is idling. At the same time, check the cleanliness and viscosity of the fluid. Operate the shift lever in forward and reverse and check the shift lever movement. After taking necessary precautions to prevent the vehicle from crawling, check that the clutch is not slipping. Check the inching mechanism next. Measure the clearance between the brake pedal and the floorboard, and the inching pedal and the floorboard. Depress the inching pedal and check that the clutch is disengaged properly. The next item is the differential. First, check the differential for signs of oil leakage, then check the oil level. If you feel oil at the tip of your finger, it means that there is a proper amount of oil. At the same time, check the oil on your finger for its viscosity and for any presence of metallic particles. Check the brake system next. First, check the pipe joints and check the fixtures and clips for looseness. Then check the brake pipes for cracks and signs of oil leakage, and make certain that the pipes are not interfering with other components. Now check the brake function, and in particular, make certain that all the brakes are functioning equally. The parking brake linkage and cable condition should be checked also. Check the electric components. This includes checking the charging system operation, checking the headlights and turn signal lights, checking the stoplights, and checking that the battery terminals are not loose. If you see signs of corrosion on the terminals, they need to be cleaned. Also check that the fuses are not loose. And check that there are no loose connectors. Also, check the wire harnesses for loose clamps. This is the end of the electrical system inspection. Finally, you should apply grease to all specified parts. This completes a typical monthly inspection. Refer to the appropriate owner's manuals and/or repair manuals about replacement parts and the time of replacement. Be sure to replace parts at the intervals specified. What you just saw in this video is only an example of periodic maintenance. We encourage you to find better ways to perform these checks as efficiently as possible. Periodic maintenance is an effective method to prevent malfunction of forklift trucks and extend their service life. We recommend that you perform thorough periodic maintenance like we showed you in this video.